But look, I want to start right at the top with some thinking about what yoga really is about. So some those of you that are trainees and teachers that have known me for a while as students, you'll know that I have this clear understanding of the difference between the soul and the ego. And when I talk about yoga, I talk about an internal battle that we have between our higher self, if you like, and our lower self. The lower self is more occupied with the world and the things that go on in the world and the sensory satisfaction to make sure our senses are happy, that we get what we want, we're afraid of losing things, we're happy about gaining things. So it's aversion and avarice, it's pulling for our dislikes and likes. Whereas the soul has a much more global view of everything, has a much more universal view of everything. It doesn't suffer losses. In fact, in the soul's realm, there is no good news and bad news. There are no good and bad experiences. There are just experiences which help to chip away at how close you get to your true self. So I like to explain it like this, is that it's not about going forwards and backwards or side to side, it's about going inwards. In life, we will be pushed forward and backwards and side to side and jostled around. But the only direction we need to be concerned about is inwards. Does this make me go inwards? Does it get me closer to my soul or not? In the world, you may lose money, you may lose friends, you may lose health, but it may get you closer to your soul. So an external loss may be an internal gain. So that's how the soul looks at things. You know, you get a realization because you had a bad experience. That makes it a good thing in the soul's world. If you view it through the measurement of humans, it's a bad thing. It's a bad thing. So yoga it's a whole different way of approaching life. So the first thing I want to talk to you about is this mind versus ego perception and judgment, which is something I think that people are very quick to do these days, is to think that they understand the fullness of a situation and then they can make a judgment and a conclusion on it with the limitation of their own thinking. And the seriousness of doing that, the problem of doing that. I want to talk about the importance of wisdom, the importance of omnipresence, which is understanding everything from every angle at once, which is what our God, or the Spirit that we talk about in yoga, can do, is it's seeing things from all angles at once. It's present in everything at the same time. It's not just present in the concerns of the ego. The importance of getting to this is through your patience and your level of calmness of mind. So listen to these words. There's very few, but they're potent, and I want you to really think about every concept I've said, every word I've said. Your recognition and understanding of the world, your recognition and understanding of the world is limited to your knowledge and experience of it. So that's the first thing we have to all accept. Okay? Your recognition, which means what you recognize the world to be, and what you understand the world to be, is limited, is closed by your knowledge of it and your experience in it. That's the world you see. It's not the world that is. It's the world you see. It's the world you recognize and the world that you understand, but it's not the world. You will assume the world is as you are. I will too. We will assume the world is as we are, is as we have recognized, understood, knowledge, and experienced it. We will assume the world is like that. If you're a good person, you'll assume everyone has goodness. If you're crafty and conniving, you'll assume that everyone is doing that. You will judge people on your experiences. whether they're good or bad, you will start to prejudge people on your experiences. This is not what God does, it's not what the soul does, it's not what yoga does, it's what the ego does. It will judge people on the back of our experiences. You will believe there is no truth other than what you understand. Not what is right or wrong, not what you've concluded is right or wrong, but what you've understood is happening. There is no other truth in your mind than what you have understood. But there is more to this world than what you have seen and learnt about. And that's a really humbling place to be. And it's so important in yoga to understand that sentence. There is more to this world than what you have seen or learnt about. And if your attitude in life was just that much, that you were going everywhere and meeting everyone in every experience, knowing that there's more to this world than what you've seen and learnt about, straight away you have to relax, isn't it? You have to chill and wait, because there may be something you haven't learned or experienced. So you have to first listen to the other. There are people on this earth employing entirely different levels of consciousness than you. Entirely different. And having different experiences and motivations than you. You know very little. I know very little about what's going on around me. I'm saying keep your mind from drawing conclusions based on what you know and what you've experienced. Keep your mind free from drawing conclusions based on what you know and what you've experienced. The yogi sits in a very, very calm and still place in his or her head. They know they don't know. They know they have to sit with situations and people and statements, and they have to sit with them. And they have to wait. They have to appeal to their soul, to their wisdom, and let truth come to them. Then they will understand the other people. They'll understand the experiences. They'll understand, because all the understanding is there. They just haven't been through it yet. They don't have knowledge of it. They haven't been there. So if the ego will jump to a conclusion for its benefit. I'm right, this is wrong, I'm angry, or whatever. But the yogi has to sit and wait. Know that he doesn't know. And wait for the truth in his soul to expand. Because your soul is trapped in your ego. It's trapped, circumscribed to your being and your concerns. But when you do yoga, it wakes up and it goes into everyone's soul and it becomes spirit. And it understands everything. That's called omnipotence, omnipresence. That's the nature of spirit. That's what yoga is trying to do for you, is to get you to that place of all power, all understanding of all things. So, in the sense of interactions, we have to learn to be still and to know, as I said first, your recognition and understanding of the world is limited to your knowledge and experience of it. Be humble. You will assume the world is as you are. You will judge people on your experiences. You will believe that there is no other truth than what you understand. But there is more to this world than what you have seen or learnt about. There are people employing entirely different levels of consciousness than you and having different experiences and motivations than you. Keep your mind free from drawing conclusions based on what you know and what only you have experienced. I want you to sit with your eyes closed for 30 seconds and look in your life, the picture of your current mind state, who's in your mind, and think, am I jumping? Am I assuming that I know? And I want you to relax and let it go. Open up. Just because we don't understand something, it doesn't mean it's not there. Just because we haven't seen it, it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. It's like when a child judges their parent. When a child judges a parent for how they bring up children, when they don't have children of their own. When staff judge a manager when they've never managed anybody. We have to relax and accept. We don't know it all. Start letting go, forgiving, relaxing for the next few seconds so that you understand this concept has gone to the right place. Men judging women, women judging men, so on and so forth. We're not all the same as we go through these layers. Say to people, younger than me, time, I don't like to be controlled by time, but I always say time is good for one thing. It increases your experiences. And as you increase your experiences, you have a chance to apply your what you think is your truth against the rock of life. And that cuts your wisdom. You understand? Your thinking gets cut against the rock of life, and it evolves into wisdom. But you need experiences for that. So when everyone is 21 years old, they understand the entire plan, right? 21, you know the answers to everything. They shouldn't be flying, they shouldn't be this, that should happen. And you think, until you're 41, and you realize how hard it actually is, how easy it is to say how things should be. But actually living it is very difficult. You become less idealistic and more realistic. And then as you get older, you become more spiritualistic. You start to see all the angles, and once you get it, and you forgive, and you let go, and you move forward. You understand the journey. It's not about human achievements, but about spiritual realizations, what people have understood inside. So it's that. It's that I want you to have as part of your mind. It really will help you going forward in life to understand, not necessarily change anything, but at least understand why things are happening the way that they are sometimes. And to learn. So important. Any thoughts on that before I come on to the first meditation technique? Does that resonate with you if you want to understand what I mean by that? Thank you. The next thing is going to be an exercise that I want you to practice to do with power of words. Or less with the power of words, but the power of the feeling behind words. In this meditation, you are going to learn to go beyond the word into the feeling that the word is a label on. So if you have a word like power, for example, the word power is a label on top of a feeling of power. So when you translate to somebody, you talk about that feeling of power, you say, you know that thing, power, and they understand what you're talking about. But sometimes we get lost in the word and we forget the feeling behind it. Even when we're meditating or doing affirmations, we can say words are easy, but feeling the words is not easy. So if I say the word power, and you say it, you'll say it. And I'm going to do this with you in a second, but you don't feel it every time you say it. If I say the word love to you, you hear I've said it. If you say the word love to someone, I love you, whatever, you feel you've said it, but have you felt what it is? So I want to get you beyond the labels of words and into the feeling behind each word. To see if you're in tune with that. And then to pulsate just the feeling and not the word. I want you to imagine a world without words, but a world with feelings. How would you communicate? How would you operate? How would you construct? How would you move if you were just moving based on feelings? It would be a very raw, strong place. In meditation, you get to a place where it's wordless, and yet there is communication. Have you ever had moments with your loved ones where you don't need to say anything? Where you can just be in the presence of somebody and feel that you're communicating, that they've communicated something to you, you've communicated something back, but words now say nothing? That's truth. That's God. That's the consciousness that we need to aim for, is that depth of feeling. That's where life is. So by the way, I always tell people, don't read too much. Don't read too many books. Don't read too many words in your day. Read less. Write more and contemplate even more. Because there's so much inside you that you need to discover. Spending time just discovering what other people have labeled, it's not going to help. You've got to feel things. So, I've written this, words are just labels of feelings. They are nothing compared to the feeling they represent. It is better not to use words, but to use feelings instead. To go direct to the feeling, here's what we're going to do. You repeat the word over and over, and begin focusing on the feeling more. Eventually, you just repeat the feeling over and over, and skip the part of the brain associated with language completely. This is very, very powerful. When you say a word, focus on the feeling, not the letters, not the sound, but the consciousness underneath it. So I'm going to get you to say a word in a second, just to make you understand. If I get you to say the word power in a second, I want you to watch yourself saying the word power. And I want you to watch what feeling pops up in here. It will be around here, the word power. And it will pop up a millisecond of a burst of light. You won't notice this normally, but as soon as you say the word, you'll feel a little of energy. Okay? And we're going to be expanding that after we practice. So, when I say to you, and you can do it a few times after, I'm going to say the word power and feel at the same time. So off you go. Whenever you're ready, say the word power and feel. To yourselves. Out loud. Power. Feel the energy under it. Can you feel it? Yeah. Just for yourselves for a little while, carry on saying it. And as you're saying it, close your eyes now, everybody. We'll do it individually and we'll do it as a unit. Keep saying the word power in lower and lower volumes until you're just repeating it as a whisper, but you're feeling the power energy inside you. And then see if you can not say the word at all, but repeat the energy. Try by yourselves now. As many times as you need to until you're able to repeat just energy. So you're pulsing the energy of power. You're not saying the word in your mind anymore. Pulse the energy of power. Now let it expand. See it as a light that you're repeating, and let it expand. Let it go into your thighs, into your arms. Pulse the energy of power. Concentrate. Don't use the word. Do it as a group now. The word power is going to come from here inside your body. Yeah? It's going to come from this area, the Manipuraja, the solar center. And you're going to start to see it in a golden color, between yellow and dark orange, and light, fire. We're going to do it together. We're going to start saying the word power together, repeating it, the word, and focusing on this feeling. And if you find it difficult, visualize what I'm saying. Visualize the colors. And then as we go lower and lower into a whisper, concentrate more on the feeling. If you've taken your volume down 50%, we increase the feeling 50%. We take it down to 25% vocal, the feeling is 75%. Until we just the whisper, disappear the word completely, and just repeat the energy. And don't use the words. The words will clutter the mind. And then I'll guide you to expand it, and we want to be charged with power. This is how it works. This is chi. Okay, so let's do it together. Let's experiment. These are new things for your head. Go into the realm of your consciousness and let's experiment. So we're just repeating the word power together. Take your mind inwards. Close your eyes for a few seconds. So remember, when I tell you guys to start, we'll repeat the word power together at a good volume, decent volume, and visualizing and feeling the energy, and I'll instruct you further from there. So in this type of timing, I'm going to be doing work with me. Power. With me. Power. 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 Lower in volume. Power. 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 Focus on the feeling once it gets lower in volume. Now just repeat it mentally. Now pulse it just in your mind, just the feeling. Expand it. Let that power expand. Forget the words. Expand the energy. Expand it. See it spreading all over your body. Power. Energy. All over your body. Don't see it as a repetition or a pulse, just as one solid energy of this, what we've called power. Forget the word, just that energy bursting inside you now. Pure energy. Your fingertips tingling, your thighs tingling. There's something going on inside you that has no word anymore. It's erupting with this energy. Don't use words. This is raw soul. Soul. Raw soul. If you're ill, if you're sick, if you need to feel any emotion, any feeling, this is how you do it. You go past communication, language, and you go directly in. Feel it, it's all there. The language, the concepts, the ideas, the challenge it. This keeps it there. So remember this, in your practice today, we'll bring it up again in the asana practice. When you do your meditations at home, if there's something that you need in your life, a feeling, we'll do one with more gentle word at the end of the class. Repeat the word and then extinguish the word, pulse the feeling, charge it around your body, and it will start to take over the body. And then you'll feel like you're in a different space. You'll feel it awake and alive. With that, I want you to begin our warm-up today. So take this energy into a standing position again. Just back into the heels and onto the toes. Walking back and forwards. Keep thinking of this energy inside you today.